Hello, I am Liliana Mâță from Vasile Alecsandri University of Bacău, and I will presentation today the creative integration of the game method in the training activities of future teachers for preschool education. I prepared this presentation together with Professor Mușata Bocoș from Babeș-Bolyai University from Cluj-Napoca, Romania, and me from Vasile Alecsandri University of Bacău. We will present the role of play in the training of future teachers for preschool education, ways to creatively integrate games into seminar activities, and types of games used in early childhood education, and some examples of creative application. Regarding the role of play in the training of future teachers for preschool education, we noticed that the initial training of teachers is particularly important for the quality of the students' education and involves both theoretical training through psychopedagogical and didactic training subjects, as well as a practical initiation into the didactic activity. It is necessary for teachers to excel in the activities they carry out, because when an educational system seems to underperform in educating students, the cause is often seen as the quality of education that teachers provide, according to European Commission 2019. Quality training of future teachers for preschool education is based on the use of active methods. Play is the main method used in early education, so it becomes a priority to integrate it into teacher training. According Glava and Glava 2002, the game is the form of activity accessible to the child through which a part of the instructive educational tasks of the compulsory activities, but also of the chosen ones, is carried out in a fun, engaging, motivated atmosphere. Therefore, play is action, thinking, moving, handling, speaking. It is the essence of childhood. Ways to creatively integrate games into seminar activities. The innovative playful activities were carried out in the psychopedagogy of game discipline with students from the pedagogy of primary and preschool education program from the second year within the Vasile Alecsandri University of Bacău, Romania. Students formed org teams to exemplify one of the types of games used in early childhood education. Each team closed the type of game and prepared a theoretical presentation, but also an application for a kindergarten activity. The students provided all the necessary instruments for the effective application of the chosen games. The presentation time was no more than 10 minutes. Now we will present the main types of games used in early childhood education and the examples of creative application. The first category of games is the sensory games. They are based on the exercise of the senses with the aim of developing and perfecting them in order to collect concrete information as rich and varied as possible. We have here some categories of games. The first is game for the development of tactile sensitivity. It contributes to the formation and development of perceptions. The second type is game for the development of auditory sensitivity, which is based on recognition and discrimination localization of the sound source, based exclusively on the auditory sense or the identification, rhythm, recognition, and differentiations. The third category is game for the development of visual sensitivity, which aims at recognizing differences, stimulating visual memory, eye motor coordination. The fourth category is game for the development of taste sensitivity, which involves the association and grouping of several elements, discrimination or recognition. And the last category is a game for the development of olfactory sensitivity, and it highlights the discovery of the qualities of objects by means of the olfactory analyzer. Now we'll present the games for the development of imagination and creativity. Here we have four types of game: the creative game, the role play, dramatization game, and construction game. The creative game establishes a specific relationship between the child and reality. It involves the assimilation of the real to the self. The role play represents that modality of active and interactive participation of children into didactic process, which consists in carrying out activities stimulating interpersonal relationships, professions, social status, functions, activities, working conditions, facts, situations, phenomena, activities followed by analysis, representations, feeling, attitude, observed during the interpretation of the characters. Dramatization game is a variation of the creation game, such as the creation game with subjects from stories and fairy tales. The symbolic game allows evoking invisible objects, behaviors, situation based on symbols or signs. And construction game is part of the category of games created by the child and constitutes in turn an original process of playful reflect of reality. Games for the development of thinking represents another category of games. And here we have games for developing analytical skills. These games help to stimulate the spirit of observation and notice the missing component part. The second category is the game for the development of synthesis ability. These games ensures the consolidation of the skill of performing exercises to recompose the images of some objects by reconstructing the shape. The third category is the game for the development of the ability to compare. These games form the ability to notice the similarities between two images or objects according to various criteria: shape, size, or placement. And the last category is game for the developing the ability to generalize and abstract. This kind of games determines the stimulation of the ability to classify objects according to different criteria to specify which notion gen it belongs to. Now we will present games for practicing psychomotor skills. We have here the movement game. It is a predominantly bodily action carried out systematically and consciously in order to improve physical development and motor skills. Sports game is a complex of physical exercises practiced in the form of a game with a certain object, ball, puck, etc., having specific dimensions through which two teams or two opponents compete according to certain rules of organization and development. Fun game, its dominant function is recreation, and they have formative values in psychological terms because develops attention, insight, the spirit of observation, etc. And the game of movement carried out in nature, it contributes to hardening the children's body and increasing resistance to disease. Another category of games are them for the stimulation of socio-emotional skills. We have here the cooperative game. It is based on the active involvement of the players to solve a problem, task them through the communication between them and the participation of all. Another type of game is the board game. It can be classified as board game, being a form of game located on the border between playful practice and socialization practice, such as practicing a playful activity within a group activity governed by rules in a determinate space, most often materialized through a table and various pieces, such pawns, cards, etc. The imitation game is the one through which the child reproduces an original model through verbal, motor, or social behavior. And free play is the game chosen, proposed, initiated by the child without the intervention of the adult. The child chooses his own place, toys, and the type of game he wants. And then we have games for language development, very important games for childhood education. And the types of these games are very different. Games for perceptual phonetic differentiation and pronunciation of sounds. It ensures the correct perception of sounds and groups of sounds and practice their pronunciation. We have here also games for phonetic analysis and synthesis, which contributes to familiarization with the syllabic structure of words, as well as to the analysis and synthesis of words. Next, we have lexical games. It involves noticing and using suffixes, forming words by derivation with suffixes and prefixes. Lexical semantic games aims at practicing the use of words with similar and opposite meanings, differentiating the figurative meaning from the actual meaning of the words. The grammar games are based on the correct use of the noun, verb, pronoun, adjective, or adverb. The games for the development of oral communication involves receiving and formulating verbal messages. And finally, the literary games are aimed at recognizing and using figures of speech. And another category for when we will present an example in the final of the presentation are the games for the formation of personality premises. These games are very interesting for preschool education because they develop the premises of personality of children. We have here games for developing confidence, which stimulates the development of trust in close people. We have also games for the development of autonomy. They allow the formation of automation of elementary skills. Also, we have games for the development of initiative and courage, which develops confidence so that the child will set out curiously to meet the challenges of the social world. Then we have games for developing resistance to frustration and practicing procrastination. It ensures the cultivation of patience and the practice of maintaining an emotional balance that allows the continuation of the activity. And the games for the development of the sense of order and the ability to organize. They are important for awareness of the need to maintain cleanliness, for developing the habit of sorting and ordering objects according to certain criteria. And now we'll present the example. We have games for the development of initiative and courage. For example, the magic button of courage, I want to be able to start off, continue. Scales, fear and courage, the game of shadows, what danger lies in the box, imagine you are, and now we will describe the crocodile swamp. This game is very interesting for children. The meaning of the object is explained for the start of the game. The parquet is the swamp, the mats represent the islands, the toys are the crocodiles. On the shore of the swamp is a stray cat that needs to be rescued. If played outdoors, the swamp can be represented by a large square drawn on the asphalt, or it can be an area bounded by 4 flags. And the islands can be in the form of circles drawn in chalk. It goes on to say that each participant must go through the swamp with islands and crocodiles in order to save the cat. Along the way, I can only step all on the islands without stepping in the swamp because there are dangerous crocodiles there. The adult asks the child for solution to safely cross the swamp, and save the cat, which is meowing incessantly to fry. After a short time of thinking, the child describes how he thinks he will get to the cat. For example, I will jump from the shore to the first island. Then I will take a step to the second island where I will rest. Then I will jump to a third island and from there walking like a giant. I will cross to the shore where the kitten is. When he reaches to the shore, the child takes her in his arms and walks through the swamp again to reach the shore. During the move, he can change his strategy. Also, throughout the game, the adult will show his appreciation for the child's success. The one who trades in the swamp is out of the game. The area of the swamp and the distance between the islands can be increased depending on the age of the child. The game ends when the participants wish. And here we have some images from the presentation of the game by the students. And they work with the children, which represent the application of the game. And the bibliography of our presentation, and in the final of presentation, we want to thank you very much for your attention. Bye bye.